Hello and welcome everybody to Crypto Rosetta. My name is Savage and today we're going to be looking at HBAR. We've had a nice strong move to the upside here and we're talking about this possibility of potentially coming up into this orange box area. So we're going to be discussing what we think it's going to play out next and look at a couple of the possibilities that we have here within this structure. Okay, so let's get into it now. Basically what we were looking for is when we were counting this last, we are talking about that possibility of actually looking for a diagonal here. So I had this rather marked out on this one here. So we were looking for that potential that we had this as a 1 and a 2 into here, and then we were looking for that potential to actually form a diagonal pattern to the downside. It is, however, also possible we could count this move as basically just a corrective move as an A, B, and a C, but I am still keeping this idea in mind. And the way that this would work, if we look at the structure here, would be something like this, where this would have been 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we have this as a fifth wave down here. So we didn't come down as deep as we were going targeting here for this fifth wave, but we did say that because this wave 3 was 2.618, that potentially we could see a shorter move. So I am just keeping an eye out to see whether this is actually a completion of a move here, and then we've started a different structure to the upside from this single point over here, from this low of this 568 region. So there's two ways that we could potentially look at this move. If we wanna be in a bearish mindset, basically we can look at this as an A wave to the downside, A, looking for B, and then looking for that continuation in that C wave to the downside here. So this is something that can still play out, so we're gonna have to keep an eye on it. We could still set some lower lows here and potentially even move towards this lower range here of this 0404 if this becomes an a B, and then we have a C wave to the downside. So this is something that's on the cards here. However, we do have a bullish point which we were talking about previously as well, where we'd look at rather this low over here being a potential starting point where this becomes a 1, 2, looking for a third, fourth, and fifth to the upside, or alternatively an A, B, C. So it is still possible that even if we do complete into this low here, that this could just be a corrective pattern completed to the upside here, because we have come and we've rejected pretty much off this 0.618 of this 0.782. So the next thing that I'm looking for here is to see whether we do potentially get a deeper pullback here into this B wave retracement area, and then potentially look for a C wave to the upside. If we did get something like this play out, where we actually look to retrace back into the 0.618 area here, this 50% area could also be a potential target. Looking at these previous highs that we have here, potentially come back in here, test this zone, and look to push up one more time. So that's what I'm looking out for. If we did have to move down to this 0.618, basically what we'd be looking for here at a 1-to-1, we'd be looking up here towards this 0.879. If, however, we were to not come down as deep as that 618, potentially we could see um, this 1-to-1 of this 0.911 if we do come back down here and look to test this. So this is basically looking for that potential that we still have another leg to the downside here. This could be a B, and a C with a deeper drop here and a five-wave move. Or alternatively, we could actually still have, a bit more of this correction up here, and then we drop down. However, we do need to bear in mind there is that bullish count of these lows here, where we were looking at this move rather in a different way. We were looking at this, potentially as being completed as C wave, and we look to actually push to the upside. So the way that we would be looking at that, um, we were talking about this as well. This is what I mean. This could be just a corrective move here, A, B, and then potentially a C wave up. We were looking for this from further back here, but we actually did end up coming down one more time, and we actually looked to push down towards this 0.786 at this 0.570. So I hope you were sort of aware of it, that we could still see a move down here before this push to the upside. But now, technically speaking, we've actually completed this move. Well, we've done enough to complete this move. We've come up past this 1-to-1 here, but we haven't moved up quite high enough to reach this 1,618, which is up here at this 0.859 region. So really, until we push up towards that zone there, would be a little bit cautious about saying we have five-wave structure, because all we have at the moment is just a three-wave move. So this move can always start to break down, and we've had quite a strong reaction of this. What'll be important is if we can manage to actually get back above this high, or whether we form something like this, come back up for a 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we start to form additional structure to the downside where this move could then potentially be an A, B, and then a C, or alternatively, we could form a bigger five-way move looking for that lower target. So this is the one way we're looking at this move, potentially as an ABC. We could find support again above this 0609 and then push up one more time. So this is still viable here. Same idea as when we were measuring, this move here, potentially as an A, B, and a C. Uh, it does really fit the count though, looking at this as a diagonal. So we'll have to just see how it plays out. Sometimes we've got to just wait for the market to show us what these things are because, we can count this many different ways into here, but we'll have to just see how it plays out. So the more bullish way that we were looking at this move is basically looking at, we're looking for this, like I said, see, we were looking from back here. We did actually come down one more time here. So that one is no longer valid. Um, what I'm looking for within this structure is basically to see whether we get um, something like this playing out, where we get a bigger five-wave structure to the upside, where this becomes a 1-2, and then we actually form a bigger third wave here. So the the way that this would have to happen, given our current structure here, would be that we'd have to form an additional 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, because it is possible it's extending. That's something we need to also discuss. It is possible that within this structure here, we could see this potentially as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 within here, and then potentially we form this as a wave two, a shallow wave two. We form another 1, 2, and then we start to, progress directly up here. We don't have enough structure to confirm that. I am rather counting this 1, 2, right, actually one into this high here, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, like this. This is the way that I'm currently counting it, though obviously this can be wrong. I'm looking at the potential that we've had an extension in this wave one here. This is a third, and then this is a fifth wave. But we'll have to see whether it proves itself in that manner. So the way that I'm currently looking at it is like this. And basically what we want to see here, if we want to look for this continuation, I'm just going to actually turn off this one. What we're looking for here is basically to see whether we get a corrective move back down here and looking to actually come back into that same support zone that we're talking about. That would be this 0673 to this 0619 region. Actually, that is slightly out for some reason. There, no, it's not. Okay. This 0609 region will basically be the lower range we want to come with this. And I'm looking for the possibility here that within the structure, we form something like this A, B, and then we come back down into the zone and test, these lower ranges here of this wave two that we have marked out here. Potentially come back and test some of these highs that we have and then look to move away. So this is why this zone here of this golden pocket at this 064T to this 0635 is quite an interesting area. 50% would be up here at this 666, which would tie in with actually retesting these highs here. So this is something I'm looking out for. Basically, as long as we remain above this 0609, we can look for this potential to have a direct push to the upside. Invalidation of this would come by dropping down below this 0569 region. So if we do actually break this low, this would make the whole move fall apart. So what we'd want to see here is have this move break out in a bigger way here, basically looking for these targets up here of this 10 cent. And that would be looking for this, obviously this is if it comes back down deeper here towards this 618. If we had to progress directly up here, it would change this target zone slightly. We'd have to argue then, we'd have to move much higher towards this 1160 for confirmation, if that's the case. But if we do actually move down towards this 50%, or even this 618 lower down here, potentially we could see this move play out towards this zone here of this 1067. So what we want to see, basically, regardless of this target, we want to see a nice strong five-wave move to the upside, something like this, followed by another three-wave move, then finally another push to the upside here. So this would be basically looking for, the internal count of this, and how this would fit into the overall picture is basically this would then become a 1-2 into here. This could then become that third wave, and then we'd be looking for a fourth and a fifth to to the upside, which could actually look to target up towards this 1376 to this 1242. So this would be interesting because this would actually tie in um, to the idea of this being an A wave, this being a B wave, and this being a C wave, because the one-to-one of that move would actually be up here at this 1215. So if we do get this push to the upside here, I'm going to be keeping an eye on this 1215 area. That could indicate just a three-wave move to the upside, which could look to complete, and then we could actually look to still break down. So we have talked about it in previous videos. We need to be careful of a breakdown from this point, whether that's a direct breakdown from over here, or even if we do push up one more time towards this one-to-one, we'd still need to be cautious of that, that fact that we could actually see a sell-off that still takes this low at this 0356. So we're going to have to take it one step at a time and just see how the structures progress. And from there, we'll get a better understanding of, where this is going, just based off of the structure, holding these key support zones and, looking to progress. So currently, if we're looking for a lower support zone, we need to hold this 666 to this 0609. Losing this 0609 would indicate to me that, potentially we could be starting to reject down deeper. And once we start to lose this low of this zone here, this 569, basically that would invalidate, that potential of having another 1-2 here, and then looking to progress up. And we'd have to then at that point just say we have a three-wave move, and we're potentially going to set some new lows here. The support zone we have to hold to remain bullish here would be this zone here, this 0593 to this 0443 region. We don't want to lose this 0443 region. If we do start to lose that area, basically, this count starts to become less viable here. And we would have to then be looking out for that possibility of having these lower lows, which means we could actually see a move down here towards this 278 region to this 0188 region. So this is still something that's on the cards for me. Potentially we could still see a drop down here below these lows of this 0356. So we just need to be aware, you know, this could actually look to form more bearish structure here, where we could actually form this as a 1-2, and then we actually look to break down in a bigger third wave. So it's going to be key to actually get back above some of these highs here. This 0987 would be one of them that I'd want to see us get back above. Until we actually break back above this high, we just need to be really careful that these moves don't become either an A, B, and a C, which push us lower than these lows, or alternatively a 1-2, and then we start to sell off in a much deeper way. Obviously, that would be quite bearish if this was all a wave one. This was a two, because then we'd be looking for a target of our third wave down here towards this 0321 region. So this is something we need to just be aware of, and just give it a bit of space and see what happens. A move up here in three waves would not be a bullish sign. And then once we start to break through these levels, the initial place I'd be looking for support potentially would be this 1-1. If we extend through this, we need to be cautious because we could be on our way towards this 0321, in which case what we'd be looking for is third, fourth, and then potentially that fifth wave down, looking to bring us back into these lower ranges of this 0240. So it's 0278 to this 0188 region. So this is something we need to be just a little bit cautious with these downward moves that we have here. These moves to the upside are completely possible, but they need to prove themselves. It's made a good start here, but we want to see this either continue to find support above this low and extend out, where this becomes 1-2, 1-2, 1-2. Then we form, a bigger third wave coming off the back of this, which could then potentially look to target up much higher. If we were going to say that was the case, we'd be looking for 0967, and they would be looking at this as an extension, where this is 1-2, 1-2. They would be looking for this to push up into this zone here. And then, this would push us up in a much bigger way and potentially look to actually take us higher than these initial targets that we have here. So we'll have to see exactly how it plays out. This is basically just speculation at this point. We need to see these lows continue to hold and continue to push up here. For as long as we continue to hold these higher lows, we can look for that continuation to the upside. Okay, so I'm going to leave it there. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, and please smash that like button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Turn on those bell notifications so you never miss a video. Check out in the description. We have links to the Discord as well as affiliate links for both Primus BT and BYBIT down there, both great exchanges that we use on a regular basis. If you don't have an account, using the affiliate link does help support the channel, and we do appreciate it. There are deposit bonuses which can be found through the links below. Everyone, have a great day. We'll see you in the next one.